Now, Keir Starmer is copping severe St George's Day flack today after he claimed it's a day to reclaim the flag from people trying to sow division. Now, of course, he mentioned the Southport riots, and he said that a lot of people, though, are saying this is a sacred day and this should not be happening. And one of those people I'm joined with now is Lee Anderson. And I'm also joined by Chris Hope and Nigel Nelson. Lee Anderson, you've seen the comments of the Prime Minister today. Is St George's Day really the day to be dissecting politics around the flag?
I think today of all days, Martin, what Sir Keir Starmer should be doing is celebrating English heritage, our history and our culture, instead of playing politics. He's very, very quiet when certain people are on the streets out there waving their flags during these riots. You know, we've seen it on Whitehall before, we've seen it on Parliament Square, we've seen some of the people, promoting terror, Hamas terror, and the Islamists out waving flags. He keeps relatively quiet when that happens. When the true English people come out to celebrate, like I say, their history, their heritage, their culture, he's having a whinge. He probably needs to shut up, because this is a great country and we get one day a year to celebrate it, waving our flags. He should be out there himself with one of these on, waving the flag and celebrating everything that's great about this wonderful country.
Don't you think that it seems to be unique about Englishness, about England, about St George's Day, that we somehow cross-examine the worst things that people do now, the worst things about history? Yeah. You're not telling me Sir Keir Starmer would ever have that conversation about Scotland, about Pakistan, about any other country on earth. What is it about England that brings out the worst in our parliamentarians?
I'll tell you what it is. We've seen it a few years back. We've seen with Emily Thornberry when she was sneering at people, with this flag of St George on their council house during the World Cup. And this is what they do all the time, Martin. They are embarrassed about our history, our heritage and our culture, and every single opportunity they have to have a little dig about it. And I say to them, shut up, we are a great country, we are a gift to the world. They should be celebrating everything we've done for this world.
Chris Hope.
But that's what he was doing, wasn't he? I mean, that's what Sir Keir Starmer is talking about. Eccles cakes, he's talking about English fizzy wine, he's talking about football. He was talking about the warm things that we think about when we think of English. I mean, I think it's not a sacred day today. Is everyone going to church today, Martin? I don't think so. It's a day to mark the fact that we are English.
To English patriots doesn't mean it's a holy day. Sacred means keep your claws off. Let's just celebrate stuff without having a pot.
I think it was clunky to mention Southport, the riots, a very difficult time in our national story.
It was clunky, Chop. It was just bad taste. It was poor form from him. He needs to shut up and just talk about...
But the left do see the St George's flag, and you won't like this, Lee Anderson, as a problem, as a divisive political tool. And I don't think that. I'm sure you don't think that. But he's addressing that audience. And do you not think those people should be told that it isn't that? It's a thing to be proud of.
Look, we don't get to choose who waves a flag in the middle of the street, Chopper. We live in a free country. Yeah, and there are some idiots waving the flag. We know that. But why is it today, of all days, is out attacking people for waving the flag? And like Martin says, it doesn't attack other countries, the home nations, when they're out waving their flags. I mean, look at when we have St Patrick's Day. Actually, not part of the home nation, but it's a big Irish community in this country. They go out waving the flags and having a great time, and so they should. But he never attacks them, does he?
No, and he wouldn't talk about the problems of Irish nationalism or indeed any other types of nationalism.
This video is
Let's move on to another story doing the rounds today, and it's of talk, once again, Lee Anderson, of potentially another pact between the Reform Party and the Conservative Party. This time, it's Robert Jenrick who's come out with it. Is that the kind of thing? Would you like to jump into bed with Robert Jenrick?
Well, not on a personal level, no, I wouldn't. But let me say this. I mean, Rob's a colleague. I get on with Rob really, really well. But and he looks great, by the way. He's been on the Ozempic, I believe. He's been on the slimming pens.
No.
He's done something.
No, that's wrong. You know what he's doing? He's boxing.
He's boxing.
He hasn't done Ozempic for about 6 weeks, about 2 years ago, but he's boxing every week.
But the Ozempic, it must have some long-term side effects, because actually now he's talking like a proper Conservative. I mean, I don't know how long that's going to last. Perhaps he should inject the rest of the Conservative Party with his Ozempic. But look, we're not making no deals. We're certainly not talking to him. Rob's a great guy. I like Rob a lot, but we're not talking to the Conservatives. We'll see.
Everyone behind the scenes is talking about the deal you will do, Lee Anderson, with the Tory party, and you're grinning away there. You've been on your own journey from Labour through the Tories to Reform. Just reverse up a bit.
I'll take no lectures off a Corbyn lover, and there's another one coming as well. We'll have none of this nonsense.
Oh my Lord! I know it's St George's Day, but let's put the gloves down, can we? Corbyn lover.
The point here is that this could be history repeating itself, couldn't it? I mean, not literally repeating itself, but certainly what happened to the SDP is instructive for your party. They were in 83 at their height. They're running 25% in the polls. The latest opinion poll today is suggesting that Reform does. And then what happened was they were swallowed up by the Liberals. If you end up being with the Tories, and there's not room for two right-wing parties in this country,
but the Tories are right-wing.
Reform will disappear.
No,
you'll get swallowed up by them.
The Conservative Party in its current state is not a right-wing party. We saw that at the last... Probably there's 120-odd MPs that the Tories have got at the moment. I would say probably a third of those are Conservative. I would say another third are probably Liberal, wet Liberal. Another third, quite frankly, haven't got a clue what they are.
So there's no one in that party who you would take into the reform clammy embrace?
Apart from Robert Jenrick.
Look, we have a very...
You've got a list there, haven't you?
No, I haven't got a list there at all. I mean, I will say this. I mean, these pair are really laughing here. But this is a serious point, guys. I mean, look at them, Martin. Have you ever seen Chopper or Nigel Nelson in the same room as Jeremy Corbyn? Because I haven't.
These ad hominem...
It could be the same person. I don't know.
Listen, I know it's a special day for you for St George's Day, but let's not attack the people. I mean, the serious point, you agree on so much. If you have a chance to stop Labour getting in for 5 more years, why not swallow your pride?
Well, I think you're talking about 3 or 4 years' time, Chopper. We're ahead in the polls, consistently ahead in the polls. We're making massive gains. We're getting our membership is 225,000. It is. It's the Tories that are for it. They're running scared. And we saw in the chamber today during PMQs, Starmer mentioned us 4 or 5 times. We haven't got to do any deals with anybody, mate. The only deal we've got to do is with the great British public.
OK, we'll leave you there. Lee Anderson, thank you very much for joining us in the studio today on St George's Day. Happy St George's Day. And same to you, gentlemen. Happy St George's Day.
Happy St George's Day.
We've disagreed today, but hey, we're getting on now, lads. Thank you very much, Nigel Nelson and Chris Ober, 2 resident leftists. Moving on.